We are back again on this platform. This is our first programming for 2021. I am glad to be here. My name is Abby, and the founder and president of Afri-Canada Hub. I have my t-shirt on today. I have with me Melania. And Melania, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Melania Chikobo. I am the vice president of the Afri-Canada Hub.
Thank you so much, Melania.
I'm glad to be here, talking about mental health, a very crucial topic in our lives.
You have mentioned the topic already. So the topic for today is about mental health. January 28th is BellLet's Talk Day. Once again, we those in Canada understand what that means. Bell Canada is the phone company that has made mental health and the topic of it very easy to talk about. Before, mentioning mental health was like a taboo, especially when widows from Africa. But now the topic of mental health is slowly expanding and crossing boundaries where we can easily come and say, oh, okay, so I know someone who is going through this and that. Mental health and the topic of it need to be taken seriously. So today we will just be discussing a few things, going back and forth on the topic of mental health or the lack of mental health. 2020 was a very serious year of a pandemic, and it continued on somehow. People are affected by it differently. But let's talk about mental health, Melania. If we want to define mental health or a lack of mental health or mental health conditions, how would you define it?
Okay, I would like to start by saying thank you to Let's Talk for having this platform. I remember when I was young, we were so much, I was afraid of people who had mental problems. I was afraid. And at the same time, we used to laugh at people who had mental problems because we didn't understand. And we grew up knowing, oh, that family, they have a problem. That family, they have a problem. It's all because we didn't know, what it was like, what it was, what was going on. And people used to laugh. Again, even the adults, they didn't know. They didn't talk about it. There was that stigma that they are, there are problems with that family. There are problems with that family. Not knowing that, every one of us is affected somehow by, mental problems. It's good that now we can talk about it, and we should be helping people with mental problems. For mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. And it affects our thinking, our feeling, and how we act. Sometimes it affects us in such a way that how we handle stress, how we relate to others, and the choices we make. The problems, they manifest in different forms. The factors may be biological, the genes, or the brain chemistry. Sometimes it's the life experiences. Some people are subjected to trauma and abuse, and other people is the family history. So one way or the other, we can be affected by, lack of mental health or mental health problems.
I was reading something the other day. I think it was on Facebook, and I found this person wrote that it's better to help your boys now before they become full-grown men with mental health issues. When a person is younger, it's better to talk now, find ways to deal with it than to wait until it becomes a problem. Then we start stigmatizing it. Like you were saying, that back home, people point fingers at families and say, this family has an issue, that family has an issue, or mental health problems. And then they become isolated and nobody get closer. The theme this year actually for Let's Talk is any action counts. Any action counts. So any action at all counts. And I'm glad you mentioned the definitions of mental health, things that we can watch out for. I was going to show a quick clip of Let's Talk. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Whether you take a few minutes to help a friend breathe during a panic attack, or you take a few minutes between meetings to enjoy a mindful breath of fresh air. When it comes to mental health, now more than ever, every action counts.
Okay. So that Let's Talk, one of the ads.
Okay.
What do you think about it, Paulina?
It's a good one, and it actually takes us to like warning signs.
The warning signs.
We have to help. We have to be able to identify, people who have, who need help. So we should be aware of the signs. Some of the signs are, they are small, but others, they manifest like their behavior. But we need to be able to identify these. And I will say out some of the early signs or warning signs. Eating and sleeping too much or too little can be a sign.
Yes.
Pulling away from people and usual activities. People just not wanting to do anything or not wanting to associate or talk or sit with others. That can be a sign that something is going on with someone. Feeling numb or like nothing matters. You're given this task, you just don't do it. You just don't feel like,
don't feel like doing anything.
Yes, not doing anything and not taking, like prioritizing, seeing that this is important. Oh, let me do something. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Brushing aside everything. Yeah. And having unexplained aches and pains can also be a sign that something is going on mentally. And then feeling helpless and hopeless. Also smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, even the prescription drugs. That could be a sign when you see someone doing that, especially when that person hasn't been doing that, and then what is really going on? Yeah. Then sometimes you're feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared. Those are all signs of, warning signs.
Warning signs,
of
yeah.
mental health problems. And there is also the severe mood swings. This moment you are this, next moment you are way different. And, usually it comes with confusion when someone is, the mood swings. And that can cause problems with relationships and friendships. And then we also have persistent thoughts and memories you can't get out of your mind. That could be an issue. Then hearing voices or believing things that are not there. An inability to perform daily tasks, like just taking care of your kids or taking care of yourself. So those are some of the warning signs that we should be aware of in case our relations, our friends are affected, or even the students we teach.
Mhm.
Sometimes you find this happy child all of a sudden is withdrawn, doesn't want to do work, or doesn't come to school more often, and then you have to find out what is going on. Maybe something is going on at home. Maybe there is abuse.
Mhm.
Yeah, so all those things do matter. So we have to be aware and also find ways of helping.
I know. That was as you were talking about things or signs to watch out for. And then I'm thinking about the pandemic because now hearing about the pandemic, I was reading from BellLet's Talk, the site. There's a website for BellLet's Talk. I hope people will be able to find it if you need support or need to read more. It's let's talk.bell.ca, and reading some of the simple ways really that we can take action. They said that hearing about the pandemic repeatedly. So if you are watching the news all the time, sit down by the TV and keep repeatedly listening to the same news over and over. It can be very stressful. We need to walk away from the news sometimes. We need to take care of our bodies, as you have said. Before we took for granted even a simple thing as taking a shower or breathing in air. I've been practicing that lately a lot. I find that it's very helpful. Simple exercising, just walking outside. It's so helpful. Connecting with people, talking to people. So that statistics is in 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, some people recover. Some people recover from it. And by doing talk therapy, talking about it. So some of the ways that we can simply help ourselves is not just sit down and listen and taking all manner of news without talking out. Maintaining a routine where we can check on each other can also help. Simple things that we can do, such as finding out how somebody is doing, or even sharing food. Now, it's a lot of people have lost their jobs. Some people still have some income going on, but if you're in a country where government support is not there, then we need to share what we have. We need to share our resources, help each other to stay positive during this pandemic. Yes, you mentioned children. I know sometimes children can have severe attachments. You mentioned when a child is withdrawn. I find that sometimes when a child has a severe attachment and doesn't want to let go, that too can be a sign that we can watch for. If a child is just always want to be with you all the time, they don't want mom or dad to step away. I think we need to find out from them what's going on in the head, or train them slowly to wean them off to be independent. Now children too are hearing news about pandemic, hearing news about all sort of news, and the way they process them may not be accurate. So sometimes we need to question them too. So you heard this news, what do you think about it? One of my kids was telling me the other day that, oh, I hear the vaccination that is coming up for the pandemic. People are saying that it's going to just wipe the human race, or everyone's going to wipe everyone away, kill everybody. And so for him, that's his understanding of what the media or the news, or wherever he got his information from. Definitely, we don't know what the vaccine is going to do, but at least there is a vaccine to care for or to fight this pandemic. What I did with him was to educate him a bit, to
not to believe everything.
Not to believe everything. You know, children are just grabbing everything and holding on like that. So teach them not to question or voice out if they are worried about something. Let me know, but don't believe it and keep it inside and let it boil down to the point of stressing you. And that can be very detrimental to their mental health.
I agree with you. Talking helps a lot. Mm-hmm. But one thing I have observed with this pandemic, children used to go to school and be with friends of their own age. They talk, they laugh, they play.
Okay.
Nowadays, with some kids, they're not going to school. They are having their school online and they're just there at home. That can be stressing as well, just being in the same, in the same place without relating with other people from other places. Sometimes it's also good to just take those kids out for a drive as a family, or even taking walks. And I find walks, I benefit a lot from walking because that's one thing I enjoy. I just like walking and watching birds, watching the environment, just seeing things. And sometimes I just take my slingshot and even though I haven't killed anything.
You haven't killed any bear yet. Oh, the bear.
Bear, I don't think I will even attempt to kill it with a strong, a slingshot. But it helps me, and especially now that I'm not with my family, walking, getting out of the house, getting out of the place is just good for me. And one other thing that I find when because I'm not at home, it's like talking on the phone.
Okay, it's helping.
Yeah, I've used it a long time. Just talking to this one, and then I talk to this other person. I'm talking, and we're talking and just laughing.
Laughing, yes.
Yeah, that togetherness that we used to do with other people, with friends, it's no longer there nowadays. So what do? We just talk to each other. We conference call with friends. Like I have my friend in South Africa. I called her the other day, and her daughter just recently had a child. So the child was there too, and I really enjoyed that conversation. It was good. So time travels fast. That, and you are also relaxed. So that helps a lot, with mental health, rather than just sitting and being, or doing work.
I know.
That's not good.
The other thing too is playing games if they have nowhere to go. Playing games, it's a good thing that I have started doing with them. So I find a game that they will be interested in, and then we play that. Two of them, my older ones like to cook. So now I'm giving them more responsibility to cook. Have them do some of the cooking. The act of cooking is just helping the mind. Reading books is becoming a big problem because of the amount of technology the children are exposed to. They are ready to read something on their screen rather than take an actual book, paper book, hard copy book to read. And so that is one of the reasons why we are coming up with the book club. And I'll mention that now, that registration for the book club, for our children's book club, is coming out soon. If you're a parent listening and you're interested, please share. Let other parents know. We have a book club coming. Children, it's a virtual book club. So the children can register and have your child register, and they can join with other children of their age to read books virtually. Please look out for the registration. We want these children to take some time away from the screen. We want to also introduce them to their heritage of who they are as human beings of African descent. And that's one of the announcements that I'll leave here now before we end this talk. Is there anything else, Malenia, that we can talk about? Talking is very good. Any action is helpful to help someone. Rather than make mockery of them, let's connect and ask which ways we can help. Helping someone step outside and even taking a deep breath is just great, like the little clip that we just watched. Do you have anything you would like to add?
Yes, I have something. I attended one webinar for the indigenous, indigenous people. And I got something that was very interesting that, relates to the topic we are talking about. And, it's about taking care of the spiritual needs.
The spiritual needs?
Yes, the spiritual needs.
Okay.
And some of the things that they were saying is people need to be seen, to be heard, to know that we are accepted and believed. We also need to know that others have faith and trust in us, and to feel secure, safe, at peace with others, with oneself and others, to know that we are beneficial to others, to love and be loved,
wow,
to have hope and to feel joy. Find this is very,
yes,
that makes a being.
Yes.
And to add on to that, they also talked about some of the things that we can do or we can say to other people. We can say, I see you, I hear you, your feelings are important. I accept who you are. I believe you. I trust you. I can count on you. You belong here. You have a gift to be you. You are special. You are safe here. It's okay to have to yourself. You are important to us. We love you. It's okay to love. Things will be better, especially nowadays.
Yes.
Look forward to tomorrow. I love your laughter. I really like it when you are happy. They're simple words.
Yes.
But they do matter in our lives.
Carry a lot of weight, actually. We live in such strange times now that the pride is such a big thing that erodes our energy. So just telling someone that you matter really increases energy. We need that energy in us. Telling someone you belong here, you matter here, you are special, right? I feel a lot of energy just hearing you say it. The children watch, they hear, they watch us all the time, and that comes to parenting. How much of our energy are we spending with the children at home to let them feel that, okay, I'm still loved in my home. I am still cared for in my home. It's a pandemic time. Everyone is worried. How do I put food on the table? But at the end of the day, I still need to hug my child. I still need to say to them that I love you. Even if we don't have it, we still love each other.
Yes.
Yeah, you matter.
And even older children, sometimes we just think, it's kind of it only matters when you say it to younger children. But I think even older children, men, grown men, grown women, they need to hear that I
Yeah.
love you. You matter to me. You belong here. They need to hear that. And they also learn to say the same things to other people.
Mm-hmm.
We say them to them.
Yes.
Yes.
So the language really matters. Language is a big thing, and the tone of the
Yes.
language. We
Yes.
need to also educate ourselves. If they say that somebody has depressive or anxiety problem or depression, we need to educate ourselves. What are the things that someone with anxiety or depression goes through? And when we educate ourselves, what are they going through? How can I be on a side which is not making the issue worse for the person? Educating ourselves is also very important. It's not easy living with someone with mental health issues, or
Yes.
mental health concerns. But when we understand by educating ourselves one step at a time, we'll be able to support that person and embrace them with love, all the good things, all the good words that you just used, Melania.
I would like to thank Bell Let's Talk, for providing the platform. This is something that's really, really important in our lives, especially these days. And by having this platform, I'm actually realizing there's some things that I never thought about. I never, did. But now that I'm talking about it, then I'm going to practice what I'm talking about. I'm going to model for my family and friends. So it's really important that we have discussions like this, and I'm hoping this is not the end. We are going to have more discussions on mental health, because mental health is a huge topic. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Melania. That's beautiful. Yeah, so we will once again say thank you to Bell Let's Talk, because they made the topic easier to talk about, a topic of issues with mental health or mental health concerns. Yes, January 28th, Thursday, January 28th. If you are around anywhere, let's take action. It's not just for one day, but it's every day. Let's practice it. And on Bell Let's Talk Day, it says, when it comes to mental health, now more than ever, every action counts. So every action counts. Is it words you're using? Use them kindly. Is it something that you have to say about mental health? Say them in a way that it will energize someone to look for help, or it will speak positively to someone suffering from it. If it's just an ear you want to give, or food you want to share, or a phone call you want to make, any action counts. Thank you all for listening. We look forward to more discussions on this topic in the days ahead. Thank you once again, Africa Canada Hub. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Melania.
You're welcome. Thank you.